So we're going to talk today about health, but we're not going to talk today about health in a way that is like, you should be doing cardio every day or yoga, you should be green juicing, none of that. I don't care how you eat. That's completely up to you. But here's something that I want you to wrap your head around. And actually, this made the biggest difference for me when I really, really understood it. But let's look at manifestation and the quantum approach. Okay, what we're really doing when we manifest or metacreate is we're disconnecting from this 5 sense reality. Okay, what we smell, taste, see, touch, feel. We're disconnecting from it. And we're going deep within into our point of stillness. Point of stillness. It's really important that you understand that. And from there, you could say that's the 4th dimension. And from there, we're connecting with the 5th dimension, and we're creating with our imagination and our reduced brainwaves, we're creating a reality that we want to see materialize in the physical world. Okay, now science shows that this is entirely possible. And, people like Joe Dispenza, who is a contemporary teacher of this, by the way, people like Neville Goddard, people like Walter Russell, they have been teaching at Florence Shin for, 2 centuries. So this has been around a long time, and it's wonderful that we have new teachers like Joe, like the physicist Nassim, because they bring the science to it. And I think for a lot of us, myself included, having the science that supports and validates the concepts, especially from the metaphysics, from the universal law of Hermes back in the day, Hermetic teachings, it's really awesome that we have the science to back it up, right? Here's the thing though. Our body is our vessel. And what a lot of people overlook, because they get really excited about the idea of manifesting, and so they're like, yeah, let's go manifest this and that. But they don't pay attention to their physical vessel. And I know from years in the yoga community, a lot of people were really, they wanted to meditate and they wanted to reach higher realms and achieve enlightenment. But you are in a body, and this body that you're in has to be functioning properly in order for you to create in the quantum. A lot of people overlook that. They're like, oh, I don't care about my body. I want to do astral traveling. I want to do remote viewing. I want to create, a new business. I want to do it all in the quantum field. And they love the idea, and then they get carried away with the idea that you've got to address mind, body, spirit. You cannot manifest the perfect ideal life if you're not playing in it. Does that make sense? I see a lot of people think that they don't have to pay any attention to their health. Now, my take on health is a lot different than what some people's take on health is. I used to be the hardcore health person. At one point, I was a raw foodist. Oh, my kids hated that point. And then, of course, a vegan and a vegetarian. And even like not even several years ago, like right around COVID time, I was still getting up and having my juices and, juicing all my food and blah, 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 blah. I am not that hardcore anymore because I realized that being that strict and stringent put pressure on me. Now, I'm not giving any health, medical, or dietary advice. You know your body. You have your healthcare practitioner, so you know what's good for you. I'm not talking about blood type diets or what you should eat or what you shouldn't eat. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You can't manifest an abundant business if you're constipated, right? It's really, really tricky. It's hard to sell something from a hospital bed. I know this. I've tried. Years ago, I had severe health issues. Like a health crisis, like really bad. And so I know that we can either swing from one end to the other. Like, I don't care. I'm not paying attention to this. I'm just going to use my mind and manifest what I want. Or, oh my gosh, I need to weigh that carrot and see how many grams it is. And I think both are overkill in different directions. But the law of polarity tells us that there are 2 sides to everything. So our goal is balance. And when I say balance, I mean you have to take care of your body, and but you don't need to go overboard. So the simple things, some kind of movement, every day, especially if you are one person who sits in an office or a cubicle or your car or whatever all the time and you're always sitting. You've got to walk. You've got to go be out in nature. You've got to let your feet hit the grass barefooted so you can get those negative ions coming up to your body. Your diet. Paramahansa Yogananda once said that human beings' biggest mistake, he said it much more poetically, but he said our biggest mistake is our diet. And again, he was chubby, love him, but he was chubby. It's not about what or how you eat, it's why you eat. Think about that. It's why you eat. Are you eating to nourish your body and your energy field, or are you feeding your boredom? Are you numbing your discontent? Are you stress eating? Are you numbing yourself at night with too much alcohol? Are you spending money you don't have to just give you that little hit of dopamine? So see, what this really boils down to is that in order to enter the quantum and create at that level, what we really have to do is disconnect. But if we are uncomfortable in our physical bodies, that discomfort is going to keep us anchored into this third dimension reality. Does that make sense? Like, it's really hecka hard to close your eyes, get the brain waves reduced, step into your right creative brain, your right hemisphere, and envision, maybe you're trying to heal a disease, or maybe you're trying to manifest $50,000, or maybe you're trying to attract a soulmate. Whatever it is, you're not going to be able to release and let go of the physical, which is what you have to do. You have to disconnect from this to go to that. But you're not going to be able to do that if you are anchored in the physical by discomfort, by pain, by a pain in your shoulder, or a headache, or a migraine, or bloatedness and digestive distress. It's really, really hard to step out of your physical reality into your mental and emotional and higher reality if you're anchored down with discomfort. Does that make sense? I mean, that is, to me, the whole tamale. That is, to me, if you feed your body to nourish it, if you keep it hydrated, if you do some kind of movement every day, if you spend time in the sun a little bit every day, even just 10 minutes, just sun gazing, it's amazing what it will do for your health. It's amazing. But we're in a hurry, and we just want to grab a burger, and then it's Friday night, so let's have pizza. And oh my gosh, those cinnamon rolls look so good. And so just in a 36-hour period, most people put so many chemicals and toxins in their body that their body is going to speak to them and say, hold on, can I have some freaking broccoli? Can I have some pure water? Can you dance a little bit? Can you go outside for a few minutes? So your body's crying for you to pay attention to it. And if your body is crying for you to pay attention to it, you're not going to be able to disconnect from it long enough. Now remember, when I say disconnect from our body, what I mean is, and this is very, very well documented, in order for us to effectively create in the quantum field, we have to not feel anything in the third dimension. And this is exactly, I shouldn't say exactly, but this is what, Joe Dispenza is really popular right now. And I love him. But this is what he teaches. You've got to be no body, no thing, and no time. And you can't do that. And no one addresses this, but you can't do that if you're uncomfortable. And I know one of the things, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, that I do with my AO scanner. This is not a phone, this is a scanning device. And I give people these reports. a lot of times they're like shocked. And you have to remember, it's not a medical device, but it's energetic. And it will pick up on things that are wrong in your body. And what I have found by and large is that most women, especially over 50, they can get alarmed when they see the report. They're like, oh my gosh. And that's not the intention. If it says, you know, overtaxed adrenals, that doesn't mean you're going to have adrenal fatigue next week, but it could. And if you happen to have something, you know, not right in your body, it doesn't always mean it'll pick it up. And that's because it's not a medical device. But here's what I want you to hear. When I run these scans on people and they see with their own eyes, number one, how spot on it is. And number two, it's like a wake-up call, like the reality. Oh, crap, that is true. Because it calls out your emotional status. It, you know, it shows you a lot of stuff. And I think it's a good wake-up call, because what we tend to do, and you may be different, but I know this for myself and all the people I work with and my family, is what we do is we just keep plowing through. We power up and we keep going. We have a hit of coffee and we just keep going. And then the crash comes. And I'm not talking about a caffeine crash or a sugar crash. I'm talking about the diagnosis. I'm talking about the can't get out of bed. I'm talking about the stabbing pain, the chest pain, the migraine. I'm talking about all the things that will stop you dead in your tracks because you haven't been taking care of your vessel. And I know, like I said earlier, I know it gets really tempting to forget all about the physical when we figure out and realize the truth of the matter is that we create matter through our mind and emotion. But a lot of people are missing the boat and thinking that matter doesn't matter anymore. And you are here on this planet to have a physical experience. If you just wanted to have a spiritual experience, an energetic experience, you wouldn't have a meat suit. You wouldn't have a body. You wouldn't have systems and molecules and tissues and, you know, skin and all of that. So you are in a physical body. And let's get real. Let's just get real for a minute. The things you want to manifest so that you can enjoy them in the material world. So how backwards is it to say, I don't care about my body. I'm going to have that cheeseburger and a bottle of wine tonight because I'm going to manifest a beautiful island vacation. And while all of that is going to affect your ability to connect, because you're not going to be able to get out of your anchored body that's uncomfortable. Also, what the heck is the game plan? If you were able to manifest that, are you even going to enjoy it? Not if your body is complaining and griping. And I think that it's time to realize, especially if you have a dysregulated nervous system, that it's going to catch up. It's going to catch up. You can't just put some lavender essential oil behind your ear and go stand in the grass barefooted and say, okay, I'm grounded now. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of things that go into it, and it's taken a lot of years to get ungrounded, right? So with that said, my AO scanner, which I have a super great special going on, $111, and you get 4 things from it. You get a report in simple terms. I take all the complicated, complex stuff and I put it in really simple terms, and it says this is what's going on in your body, in your energetic body, okay? Not a medical device. And then I'm going to give you tones that are specific to your voice that you should listen to 2 to 3 times a day because it helps balance it out. The other thing that you get is when I'm doing the scan, it's actually going to optimize whatever's going on with you that might be off. I'm not saying it's going to fix it. If you've had an issue with your gallbladder for the last 20 years, one session is not going to fix it, but it's going to enhance it energetically in the time that it spends doing that. Okay? And you'll have the ability to ask me any questions that you would like. But to me, what's most important is when you get this scan result, you will see with your own eyes that all of the worry, all of the stress, all of the poor health choices are catching up. And maybe not. Maybe you have an amazing diet and you do everything fine and never have to worry about it. But it's good to know that too, right? So at the end of the day, the final message here is that you cannot manifest nearly as effective if you're constipated, addicted, numbed out, and just so anchored in your physical body that you can't take the time and the experience to get outside of your physical body long enough to create in the quantum. So hopefully you found that helpful. I'll put a link below if you'd like a remote scan. It's quick and it's easy, and all you have to do is sign up down below, or reach out to me for a chat and I'll explain how it works. I think that you would really, really benefit from it. I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I do it with my whole family all the time. I invite anyone who's interested. It's not a big investment to find out a lot about yourself, and I think you'll love it. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.